Isn't it interesting to hear about the sound of silence? Why it still haunts us? Why it will never die? What makes it so timeless? How it was born out of darkness? How it speaks louder than words? I ask these questions, and Eleonora tells us its darkest secrets, which explains why it still haunts us. She gives a vocal and emotional breakdown, which explains why it will never die. She unpacks the genius of the song, what makes it so timeless, and tells the story behind the sound and how it was really born out of darkness. And finally, she gives a deep harmonic insight to explain how it speaks louder than words. If you want to know more about Eleonora, go to superiorsingingcoach.com. Eleanor also explains how to prepare for singing the song yourself. A link to the original song by Simon and Garfunkel is under this video. Eleonora, I've been listening to The Sound of Silence a lot lately, especially the original, and I can't help but wonder, why did this song become such a big deal? It's so quiet and simple.
That is a really great question, Pierre. Well, it became a hit and it stayed relevant because it does something very few songs manage to do. It speaks to people on every level, melodically, lyrically, and emotionally. And I think its message is now more important than ever before. In June 1966, Paul Simon summed up the song's meaning as the inability of people to communicate with each other. And not particularly intentionally, but especially emotionally, so that what you see around you is people who are unable to love each other.
So, it was not a commercial endeavor or something people do in order to become rich and famous?
No, not at all. Just imagine how the song was created. Simon wrote The Sound of Silence when he was 21 years old. He used to go off in the bathroom because the bathroom had tiles, so it was a slight echo chamber. He turned on the faucet so that water would run. He liked that sound of running water, it was so very soothing to him. Then he turned off the light to better concentrate, and he played. He played in the dark, sitting in the bathroom alone with his guitar. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I have come to talk with you again. The main thing about playing the guitar, though, was that he was able to sit by himself and play and dream. And he was always happy doing that.
I understand that. I know that from myself. I write poems. There I am sitting all alone, and at first there's not a message I want to convey. It's more like a mood or a vague idea, and there is a kind of rhythm of the words, but no words yet. Then the words come to me and I just write them down. I think it must be the same for music. The melody comes to see you, you welcome it and write it down.
In a way that is similar with melodies. At first, there is something like the mood, the key and the harmonies.
So he wrote Hello Darkness because he was sitting in the dark?
Maybe, but darkness had also another meaning for him. Garfunkel's college roommate, Sandy Greenberg, wrote in his memoir that the song reflected the strong bond of friendship between Simon and Garfunkel and himself, who had adopted the word darkness to emphasize with Greenberg's sudden onset blindness.
And can I find that darkness and that talking to a friend also in the music?
Yes, you can clearly find it in the song. So let's take Hello Darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again. This phrase is written in D sharp minor. It is often used for melancholic moods. The next phrase, I've come to talk with you again, is written in C sharp major. Many people associate this with a tender brightness and clarity. Then there's Because a Vision Softly Creeping in F sharp major, but this key is rarely used and symbolizes yearning. The next phrase is Left its seats while I was sleeping, and it's written in F sharp major again. Then there's The Vision That Was Planted in My Brain, which has just a sixth interval. It is well known for an upcoming tension. The next phrase, Still Remains Within the Sound of Silence, goes back to the original key, the D sharp minor. This tells us melodically the darkness is a melancholic beginning, but there's a sudden upcoming hope and tenderness and a yearning without any end, and it goes creeping back into the hole where it came from. And with these chords, you already have everything you need for the accompaniment, like this. First, there will be D sharp minor, C sharp major, D sharp minor again, B major, F sharp major, B major, F sharp major, and once again, then D sharp minor, C sharp major, and it ends in D sharp minor, like this.
So the melody is basically a sequence of 6 chords. And I can use the same chords to make my own accompaniment. Got it. And why is it so effective?
That's actually one of its strengths. The melody is simple, haunting, and narrow in range. It has only about 1.5 octaves. They are mostly stepwise and in a minor key. It has this quiet intensity, and it's so natural that it almost feels like someone is thinking out loud.
So, kind of like a musical whisper.
Yes, and that makes it easy to remember and easy to sing. It also gives you this incredible emotional feeling. It draws you in without pushing.
What about the instrumentation? Now I leave Eleonora for 6 seconds and talk to you directly. If you're enjoying this so far, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps the channel and you'll never miss a new video. Back to Eleonora. So my question was, I heard the original version didn't even have drums.
You're right. The 1964 version was just Paul Simon on acoustic guitar with vocal harmonies. It was pure folk. But it didn't catch on at first.
So what changed?
Well, in 1965, producer Tom Wilson secretly added electric guitar, bass and drums to the original track. That remix gave it a folk rock edge, and suddenly it fit the sound of the time. That version hit number 1 on the charts.
Wait, Simon and Garfunkel didn't even know?
Nope, but it launched their careers. The contrast between the melancholic lyrics and the energized arrangement made it much more powerful on the radio.
And the lyrics, they're so poetic, but kind of cryptic.
That's Paul Simon's genius. The lyrics are full of symbolism and introspection, about alienation, silence, disconnection. Phrases like people hearing without listening still feel painfully relevant today.
Yeah, it feels like it's describing our world now, not the 60s.
Exactly. That's why it is timeless. The themes of loneliness, noise, and meaninglessness are just as powerful today, maybe even more so in the digital age. The themes are even more burning now than back then. It has this sense of alienation, loss of communication, and a spiritual silence in modern life. Just take this one line: people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening. The lyrics don't explain, they evoke, inviting endless interpretation.
So it became famous because of YouTube?
Ah, Pierre, there was a world before YouTube that was called cinema. In 1967 it was featured in the film The Graduate with Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft, and included on the film's soundtrack album.
And now on YouTube.
Yeah, now YouTube. There's a cover from 2015 by The Disturbed. It went viral. It's powerful, cinematic, and introduced the song to a whole new generation. Tons of vocal coaches, reactors, and musicians keep rediscovering and analyzing it. And most importantly, it's just a song people keep coming back to. It never feels outdated.
It's like it keeps evolving but never loses its soul.
Beautifully said. It's a masterpiece of simplicity that leaves room for interpretation, reinvention, and emotional depth. That's why it will outlive us all.
Now I get it. It's not just a song, it's a message, and everyone who sings it adds their own voice to that message.
Exactly. And when you sing it, you're not just covering a classic, you're continuing its conversation with the world.
Great. I want to join that conversation. But how do I do that? I'm a complete beginner. Eleonora, I want to try singing the original Sound of Silence, the 1964 version. It sounds so simple, but also haunting. What do I need to watch out for?
Well, I definitely encourage you to sing this song. It sounds simple because of the soft melody and narrow range, but it requires real precision and emotional control. Let's break it down.
So, is it hard vocally?
Technically, not too demanding. The melody sits mostly between C sharp 3 and F sharp 4, so about 1.5 octave. No big leaps, mostly stepwise motion with mostly thirds. First, I will show you the thirds like this. The minor third. The minor sixth. And the major sixth.
So, I don't have to belt anything?
Not at all. In fact, belting would ruin the mood. It's all about subtlety and keeping a speech-like and clean tone.
Okay, so what does the technique look like?
Well, you will need 3 main things. First, there's always the controlled breath support for the long legato lines. Second, you have to get pitch accuracy. No vibrato to hide behind. And third, smooth transitions between notes, because everything is so exposed.
What about the storytelling? It really hits emotionally.
Yes, that's where it becomes art. You're not just singing, you're reflecting. It's a quiet conversation with yourself. The lyrics are filled with imagery like darkness, silence, disconnection, alienation. You need to sing like you're thinking out loud.
So, it's not theatrical?
Exactly. It's intimate, not dramatic. The magic lies in restraint. Let the words do the work, just mean them.
Eleonora, I still want to practice the Sound of Silence, but I'm a bit scared. When I hear and the vision that was planted in my brain, fear gets planted in my brain. That is a big jump in notes. I don't even recognize the interval.
That's normal. First, a third. Then a fourth. Fifth. And sixth. Well, even hearing needs to be trained. And there is a simple way. You can choose some songs, some famous songs where you can practice the intervals. There are several different songs that start with, let's say, a major second, a minor third, major third, a perfect fourth, and so on. You can just listen to famous songs and interact with these intervals. After some time, you will be able to differentiate between these intervals without the songs. And there's a tool that you can use for that, and it's called Earmaster.
Great. And are there specific exercises to prepare for the song?
Yes, of course. To warm up for the jump, we'll use sirens across a 5-note scale. Exercise number 1, sirens. Sing on a pure oo vowel. Then glide up 5 notes gently and smoothly and hold the top note for 3 seconds before going down.
I do it now.
And women should start on G4, like this.
I don't do it now, just do it for yourself. So, what does this train for?
Good question. You're training control and accuracy, which helps when you hit that fifth cleanly in the phrase.
Good. My breath feels a little tight by the end of my old friend already.
That means your breath flow needs work. Try this. Silent flow. Inhale silently for 4 counts. Then exhale on a soft S for 12 counts. Control it like a steady stream.
Two hours later, I do it now. So, no sudden pushes, just steady support?
Exactly. The smoother the air, the smoother your tone, which is essential for this song.
And the lyrics are so beautiful, but I feel like I oversing them. How do I keep it honest?
Well, let's ground your emotional expression. Do a meaningful monotone. That is our next exercise. Speak the first verse slowly like a poem. Hello, darkness, my old friend. When you do that, feel the natural rhythm and weight of the words. And do the same for the whole text. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. Just let the words do the work?
Yes, this song is about intimacy, not performance.
Sometimes my tone feels stuck in my throat. Can I make it brighter without forcing?
You can. Let's activate your resonance with resonance humming. Resonance humming. Hum on a and men start on a G3 while women do on a G4. Feel the bass in your nose and lips. Glide slowly up an octave and go back down again. I will demonstrate.
Okay, I do it now. Wow, that really helps break it down. It's not just about singing the notes, it's about shaping every part of the sound.
Yes, and when you approach it this way, your voice becomes an extension of the meaning, not just the melody. That's when it becomes unforgettable.
Eleonora, thank you very much. That was an eye-opener.
You're welcome. See you in the next lesson.
Do you want to sing yourself with real power and soul? Do you want to see how Eleonora nails opera, contemporary music, and songwriting? Then click the link below the video or go directly to superiorsingingcoach.com. That is superiorsingingcoach.com. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit subscribe. It helps the channel and you'll never miss a new video.